Welcome everybody to a new video, and today we want to have a closer look at the IGN video that was just released, where they basically obtained I think a 4-minute or 5-minute gameplay demo of the PlayStation 4 Pro version of Resident Evil Village. And that made me kind of excited because I am of course very curious to see more of the next-gen version of Resident Evil Village, because those are the platforms that it was made for. But I'm also very curious to see those previous-gen versions that have been kept kind of under the radar until now, so we haven't really heard about it. Capcom announced it, I think it was last year, on the Tokyo Game Show. But now is the first time that we can really see this gameplay in its full form, so to say, running on a PlayStation 4 Pro, and IGN has obtained gameplay of a demo.
Yes, it's the first time we're seeing this, and so yeah, it's also come to PS4 and Xbox One, and it actually looks kind of good, but you clearly see that in the footage we're gonna watch right now.
Yeah, so what we're just going to do is we're going to go through the whole trailer, and we're going to basically have a look at like what we think about it, the visuals, the graphics, like all the little details that we can find into this gameplay demo. Because David, we kind of suspect that this is the gameplay demo that's going to be released, right?
Yeah, it's very likely that this is the combat demo they're gonna release, because they're also releasing that on all the platforms Resident Evil Village is coming out on, so this could very likely be some pieces of that demo.
Indeed. So let's have a look together at this version of Resident Evil 8. And I just want to start right at the beginning over here, where we see Ethan, the protagonist of the game, well, one of the protagonists of the game, we believe, who is entering through a door. And on that door we can kind of already see, okay, this is really previous gen version of the game. I mean, it looks good. You're right, David, it looks good, but we can also see that the textures are a bit of a lower quality here, right?
Yeah, and that's one thing we're gonna see in this whole demo. The textures from close by are just a little bit lower res.
You can still see, I mean, it still looks good, but yes, you can clearly see it's a little bit more vague. And it's also, as you can see over here, there are some little ornaments, or I'm not really sure what they are, some people or something like that. And it's not really super clearly visible what they're doing, so it's supposed to mean something. And I also took like the other gameplay, snips of gameplay that we have from Resident Evil 8. And so this is from the different demo of this is from the maiden demo actually from Resident Evil 8, and you can see a different door here, and you can clearly see that this is way more detailed. You can see all the little ornaments over here, and you can clearly make out what everything is supposed to be, eh? And you cannot really see that on that PlayStation 4 Pro gameplay, on that PlayStation 4 Pro version of it. But nevertheless, this looks like the full version of the game, and I don't think that anybody with a PlayStation 4 Pro will enjoy it less than somebody with a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, definitely. I think Capcom is always good at making their games work on the lesser or the less strong platforms. So you'll probably be enjoying a very good game on the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
just a little bit less beautiful.
Just a little bit less beautiful, yes, indeed. And you can also see here, I mean, there's still a lot of detail over here. You can see here the little plants, little clock. The shadows look okay. Well, I guess they will not utilize any ray tracing functionality or something like that. So that's not gonna be in the game. But still, also the lighting over here at the windows actually looks kind of beautiful to me. And even if I would play this on a PlayStation 4 Pro, I would still enjoy the heck out of it. That's what I can say, at least. And then here we see Ethan with a knife basically chasing Lady Dimitrescu up the stairs. And then he opens some kind of door. Looks like this is some door which was previously locked and Ethan can now enter into. And it looks like he is entering the depths of the castle, so the cellar. And this is also very interesting because this was also in a previous gameplay trailer. And you can also see when Ethan is entering the cellar, the lighting is just a little less advanced as in the PlayStation 5 version. That's what you can definitely see over here. And then he enters down into the depths, into what appears to be some sort of like prison complex. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be.
It looks like they're keeping their stock there, and in this case, it are human prisoners. You can see there's blood or red wine all over the place. And we know from the previous trailers they're drinking this stuff, and there's a lot of barrels floating around. So this is really where they keep their prisoners and probably drain them.
Yeah, they drain them for blood and they use it as some kind of wine or something like that. It's I'm very interested in the plot. It sounds really Resident Evil-like, definitely. And Ethan, he is basically fighting these zombie-like creatures over here. And like I said before, it still looks pretty good. But I can tell you one thing, David, and that is that this water will 1,000 times look better on the PlayStation 5 or the next generation version in general. So Xbox Series X and PC.
Yeah, and they're also clearly showing us environments that are inside their small, compact locations with just one or a few enemies. So there isn't really that much going on right now.
Yeah, that's
We have to see what happens if we see multiple enemies or venture outside of small places and maybe into the village.
Yes, I'm also wondering that as well. Like, did they specifically chose this environment to show this demo? Because we know in April we're going to get a new Resident Evil showcase, and for sure they will show then the PlayStation 5 version. And I know for sure that if they didn't show the PlayStation 4 versions before, then probably people and fans would start to ask some questions like, where's the PlayStation 4 version? How does it run? Should I worry, after the whole Cyberpunk disaster? And I think what Capcom is trying to do is they try to take away that people worry too much about this port. But it's interesting that they still chose to show indoor locations. So I'm not really sure if the same frame rate will be kept intact if they go outside into the village where multiple monsters are attacking you at the same time, large monsters, and then of course with everything going on into that village. But I have to say, I'm still very impressed with what I'm seeing over here. Lots of detail. Now let's watch a little bit of gameplay over here. Now, this is what I think is interesting, David. This message over here. So it says, craft ammo, open the inventory to craft ammo. So I'm not sure what really happens right now. But you were suspecting that this is kind of the tutorial process from the demo, right? And that's why we think this is probably the demo that is going to appear later this month.
Yeah, they could have easily left it out of this trailer if they made this trailer to make a trailer. So this is clearly just from a gameplay demo they're making.
Yeah, they're teaching the player what to do, right? So and I like that because that means that the demo is not just combat, it will also be an introduction to those crafting systems. So it goes probably a lot deeper than this. Now let's jump ahead a little bit because this part of the gameplay demo is also really interesting. Because we see Lady Dimitrescu again, of course, but also because we can straight up compare this with the next generation version, because we've seen this cutscene before in a previous trailer of the next generation versions.
And also, if we pause here, they put in like the skip button, but we can clearly see there's also an option for the photo mode. So for sure we're gonna be able to make some cool pics of this, and we're probably gonna see a lot of pictures from Lady Dimitrescu in this releases.
So we put the PlayStation 4 version and the PlayStation 5 version side by side. And as you can basically see over here, the lighting in this one in particular is a lot more advanced over here at the mirror. All these tiny little details over here than on the PlayStation 4 Pro version. So that is really where the PlayStation 5 and the next gen versions will have an advantage against the previous gen version. And I also want to point out that we can see here those shadows, of course, that are a lot more, let's just say, more realistically done than over here in the PlayStation 4 Pro version. And overall, I would say the lighting and the contrast is a lot higher on the PlayStation 5 version than it is on the PlayStation 4 Pro version. And even though it's the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it also looks like, I don't know, it's a little bit lower resolution on the PlayStation 4 Pro, but I cannot say really for sure. But it sure looks like the left one is a lot sharper in my opinion.
The PS4 Pro gameplay we're seeing, however, shows us much longer version of this scene we've seen before, and that's a really interesting one for me.
Clearly, Lady Dimitrescu is also a chain smoker. Over here, she's smoking with her fancy cigarette, and then she immediately starts smoking afterwards again. Also, we can see the ending now of this scene, and that is over here. We can see that Lady Dimitrescu, she kind of gets enraged because of what Ethan has done. So this is already a little bit further in the game, obviously, because Ethan has already done something to piss Lady Dimitrescu off. And she takes basically the cupboard and throws it against the furniture in the room. And yeah, well, that's kind of making a statement. And I mean, it really shows how grotesque and, well, menacing she is, right?
Yeah, and this is definitely something she will probably do with Ethan ending of the game or in some stage of the game. So Ethan, watch out.
Yeah, Ethan, watch out, because she will just throw you around like the furniture. And who knows, some people might even enjoy that. So thank you everybody for watching our new video analysis, visual investigation. We really hoped everybody enjoyed this. And of course, if you like this video, drop a like and also comment on this video and tell us what you are most excited about for Resident Evil Village and what version you are expected to go playing, because obviously it's still a little bit difficult to get a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. So I hope everybody can get the game on the platform they wanted to. For more juicy Resident Evil 8 videos, subscribe to our channel and we'll see you later.